Hi, Ed Bixby here from the Better Death Collective, standing at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Today I'm going to discuss a little bit about embalming and the embalming process and what our forefathers would have experienced and why embalming was not being used at that point in time. So I think you might find this interesting. So back during the Revolutionary period, people weren't embalmed. They were buried naturally. A natural burial is actually becoming something quite fashionable now and reintroducing itself back into the funeral industry itself. What a natural burial means is to be buried just naturally in biodegradable clothing, possibly in a pine box or a shroud. No embalming fluids are introduced into the body. No concrete vaults, no non-biodegradable burial containers. Very much like our forefathers did it back in the 1700s. Embalming didn't come into fashion until around the Civil War, and that was, they developed a process to get their sons back from the battlefield. So that's kind of how embalming got introduced into what we would call traditional funeral service today. Back during the Civil War, people would die in the battlefield. Instead of being buried far from home, they would embalm them with chemicals that were a retarding agent to stop decomposition. But back during the Revolutionary period and prior, and basically from the dawn of time, we cared for our loved ones naturally. So there's no better or fitting place to talk about natural burial than a place like this, where it was practiced for people like George Washington or John Adams or any of the people that were important to the creation of this country. So when you are thinking about choosing an option for a funeral service, consider natural burial. Do a little research, a little education, find out what it is and what it means, not only to yourself, but to the environment, and investigate embalming as well, so you get an understanding of that process and why some people feel as if it's necessary, but if you do a little more investigating into the actual process, you'll realize that with proper measures, it's not needed at all. So I hope that you found this interesting, and again, find out more interesting facts from the Better Death Collective.